Do you have Minnesota covering at 6.5 right now? They're the road favorite. They've been terrible at covering, especially against bad teams, but I don't know, the Bears are even worse, right?
Yeah, the Vikings are 7-5 against the spread, which isn't great, but the Bears over the last 8 have been even worse at 1-7 against the spread. And I mean, you can throw out the trends. The only trend that you need to know in the NFL right now is, are your players healthy? Are they able to play? And the Bears are without Khalil Mack. They might be without Akeem Hicks, Roquan Smith, Danny Trevathan's out. They have 7 defensive backs that are not going to play in this game, and that includes their starting cornerbacks and their starting safeties. I mean, we kind of buried the lead. We like Kirk Cousins. We like Justin Jefferson normally, but we really like them when they're facing a team that doesn't have a secondary. We've been saying this for the Ravens and other teams. When they don't have secondaries, they get destroyed. This is setting up for a really good game for the offense. And I know I like Justin Fields, and I think he can put together some good drives, but I also think there's going to be some bad drives. There's going to be some Mike Zimmer disguises and blitzes and coverage schemes that are going to cause problems, and they're just not going to be able to keep this game within a touchdown.
Geoff, we know the Vikings have been very up and down this season. One of just 2 teams to lose to the Lions this year.
Yeah, rough. Look, I don't think you need to throw out all the trends for this game. I mean, Minnesota, going back to 2019 under Mike Zimmer, is 8-14 ATS after a loss. Yes, this team is up and down because their head coach is up and down, and they don't respond well to winning. They never have with Kirk Cousins. Yeah, look, Pearce is right. The Bears are dealing with a bunch of myriad of injury issues, but as bad as the Bears defense is going to be against the pass, guess what? The Vikings don't do anything good on defense. They're bottom 5 against the run. They're bottom 5 in terms of yards per pass attempt against, too. Like, Darnell Mooney could easily go for a long touchdown here. This is just way too many points to be giving a Vikings team that has been terrible at covering in this spot and doesn't have a good defense. I'll be dead honest. My favorite play for this game is the over 45 or 45.5, whatever it's at right now on the DraftKings Sportsbook. But if you're asking me who I'm taking on the spread, there's not a chance I'm trusting the Minnesota Vikings to cover here. I think Justin Fields will put up some points against this defense. And if the Bears do good, get out to a lead, like David Montgomery could just run the ball a lot too. So I kind of like the Bears here. Wait and see if we can get up to +7, because I think that's where it's headed by game time.
Yeah, total 45.5 right now. Fowler, Vikings should be well rested though. They've had 11 days in between games.
Yeah, it's really good for Dalvin Cook. I mean, if you're looking at his props, or if you have him season long, you really like that. And to Geoff and to Pearce's point, like with the Vikings, it's a little bit harder to trust, right? And like, even though they got guys healthy and the Bears don't, look at the Vikings. You know, in their last, I don't know, every single game this season, it's been a 1-score game, and they've lost on like last second drives, or they've won on last second drives. So for them to be a touchdown favorite, I think is a fool's errand. I think the Bears getting 6.5 points is definitely there. We talked about Justin Fields. He's a guy that got 2 passing touchdowns, so we'll talk about it in a little bit, against the Green Bay Packers defense. And while it might have been a variance of sorts, it still begs the question that the Bears still have a guy like Justin Fields and players on the outside that could attack this pass defense. Rashad Breeland got cut earlier this week, getting into a verbal altercation, and he was a starting cornerback and had some of the worst stats at that position. So that just goes to show you that this defense against the run, against the pass, not very good. So give me the Bears covering, but the Vikings still winning.